Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to CSA FinCloud Security Summit 2025. And in this segment, we are going to discuss about instant payments and security. Please meet our panel, Nate Gonzalez, CISO Finzly, Sudhir Kalirindi, Principal Solutions Architect from AWS. So in today's talk, we are going to discuss following topics: understanding instant payments, data protection and authentication, real-time fraud detection, compliance and regulations in the instant payments domain, security cloud, cloud security, and continuous monitoring. Finley will take up first three topics, and then Sudhir from AWS will take up the rest of the topics. Let us talk about understanding instant payments. So, technological advancements in the e-commerce and mobile technologies and the rise in the gig economy had changed the way customers think about the digital payments. P2P payment applications such as Gel, Venmo had introduced the best digital payment experience to the consumers. So there are two types of instant payment rails available for the customers in US, and namely, one is the RTP, and then the second one is the FedNow. RTP is managed by the clearinghouse, and FedNow is by Federal Reserves. So unlike traditional payments, where it could take anywhere between 1 to 5 days to settle the funds, instant payments make the funds transfer instantly. So due to the added advantages such as speed of delivery and a 24 by 7 availability and low transactional cost and then faster access to the funds, instant payments are becoming a new norm in the digital payment world. So there is, if you look at the stats, there is a 42% year-over-year growth in instant payments, both from the consumers and then business payments perspective. And 77% of the financial institutions are seeing the revenue growth from the corporates. And also, since the instant payments are instant, meaning that funds settle instantly. So there are like 43% of the financial institutions worried about the fraud in the instant payments. The next topic is about the data protection and authentication. I would let Nate from Finzly to take up that topic and talk about it.
Hey, global greetings, everyone. Today I'll be discussing how Finzly leverages AWS-based security measures to address the challenges inherent in instant payment transactions. As we know, the rapid and irreversible nature of these transactions provides immense convenience, but also presents significant security vulnerabilities. Fraudsters have a small yet effective window to exploit these transactions, making robust security measures absolutely critical. Let's dive into how Finzly's approach ensures the safety of these payments. So authentication and identity verification. First, let's take a look at the measures what we employ to authenticate users and verify identities. First and foremost, strong customer authentication is foundational to ensuring that only legitimate users initiate transactions. This aligns with global security regulations and sets the stage for robust transactional security. Next is MFA, multi-factor authentication, or two-factor authentication, adds another layer of protection, requiring multiple verification steps, whether if it's a SMS code or a biometric scan. This makes unauthorized access significantly harder. In addition to that, contextual authentication analyzes the context of the location or the transaction, such as location, device, or time of access, to identify anomalies that could indicate fraud. We also integrate with various sources. So another provider as well that we leverage is Keycloak integration. It allows Finzly to offer OIDC and OAuth 2.0 based authentication, which ensures compatibility with modern security protocols and simplifies single sign-on access across platforms. Um, that pivots to the next topic or the next portion is single sign-on. So single sign-on itself enhances user convenience and security by reducing the need for multiple credentials while centralizing access control. Uh, Role-based access control, or RBAC, ensures that users only have access to the data and the systems that they need to perform their roles, limiting the exposure to sensitive information. And finally, transactional one-time passcodes authorize high-risk transactions. OTPs are sent in real time to validate critical actions, further securing instant payments. Together, these mechanisms create a formidable identity and authentication system that proactively addresses vulnerabilities. Now let's shift to encryption and data security. Key components of any secure transaction system. End-to-end encryption ensures data is secure during transit and at rest, preventing unauthorized access at any stage of the transaction. Tokenization replaces sensitive data like account numbers or unique tokens, etc., with unique tokens. And this minimizes the exposure of sensitive information, even if systems are breached. API security is the cornerstone of secure integrations. APIs facilitate communication between systems, and securing them ensures data integrity and confidentiality. Um, Also, as well, maintaining and securing our integrations with financial institutions or FIs are achieved through several advanced measures. So we adhere and push always forward with industry best practices. So leveraging HTTP2, TLS 1.2, and higher encryption, safeguards, communication channels, ensuring secure data exchange between applications and services. Fully encrypt AWS databases guarantees that all the layers are encrypted, enforcing data protection end to end. AWS RDS encrypted MySQL databases provide tenant level encryption. Each financial institution has its own isolated and secure database instance, mitigating risk of cross tenant breaches. Finally, dedicated private subnets for payment networks secure internal data flows, effectively isolating sensitive payment data and preventing unauthorized access. These layers of encryption and security work seamlessly together to ensure that every transaction, whether initiated or completed, is protected from threats. All right, and I'll turn it back over to Marty, and he'll continue on the next slide.
So, in the real-time fraud detection, right, since the instant payments make funds available almost immediately, and there is no concept of reversing a completed transaction, fraud detection and prevention should be real-time as well. So, to accomplish this, and there are various techniques available. And the first one is transaction scoring. So each transaction is evaluated against a set of predefined fraud detection rules such as geographical location and transaction amount and time of the day the transaction is initiated and historical behavioral patterns. If a transaction deviates from a normal behavior, it should be flagged for further review. And then the risk scoring. So real-time payments are typically given a risk score based on various factors such as the payment size and sender receiver history and the account age, like how many days that account has been open since the payments are initiated from that account. And if the score exceeds a threshold, the payment must be delayed or flagged for the further review. And AML monitoring. This involves the checking for suspicious activities such as transactions linked to a known fraudster or the use of a stolen funds. And automated AML algorithms can scan the databases for known fraudsters and whitelist to identify connections and prevent money laundering activities. Then the sanctions list screening. The transaction data is cross-checked against a global sanctions list and watch list and a politically exposed personal list to ensure the parties involved are not prohibited from conducting the transactions. And then the real-time alerts and then blocking. Both the payer and payee can receive instant alerts or notifications for each transaction, which adds an extra layer of security. And if there is suspicious activity, the users can quickly confirm and then delay or cancel a given transaction. This concludes the real-time fraud detection and handing it over to the Sudhir from AWS.
Thank you, Murthy and Nate. In the following slides, I'll discuss how AWS helped Finzly with compliance and regulations, cloud security, and cloud monitoring. So, in this slide, I would like to talk to you about the comprehensive nature of compliance in cloud computing with AWS. When we think about compliance, it's easy to focus solely on regulated requirements or well known IT standards like PCI DSS. However, the reality is much more complex and far reaching. Customers must consider compliance with all relevant sources of compliance requirements, as shown on the left of this slide, which starts from statutes and laws and all the way to contractual applications. Each of these areas brings its own set of requirements that need to be addressed. But compliance isn't just about ticking boxes, it's also about managing operational risk. This includes ensuring you have sufficient staffing with the right skill sets. It means aligning your practices with industry best standards, particularly in areas like project management and change management. Now, let's talk about some specific challenges you might face. Different jurisdictions often have their own unique requirements. For instance, some locations may have restrictions or limitations on the use of certain services. Others might require you to obtain supervisory approval for certain actions. And increasingly, we are seeing requirements specifically related to the use of artificial intelligence, AI, and machine learning services. These jurisdiction specific rules can significantly impact how you use and implement cloud services. The key takeaway here is that compliance in the cloud is not a one size fits all solution. It requires a holistic approach that considers all potential sources of compliance requirements, manages operational risk, and addresses jurisdiction specific challenges. By taking this comprehensive view of compliance, you can ensure that your use of AWS not only meets regulatory standards, but also aligns with your organization policies, contractual obligations, and best practices in risk management. Remember, in the world of cloud computing, compliance is not just about avoiding penalties, it's about building trust, ensuring security, and creating a robust foundation for your digital transformation journey. When it comes to regulated industries and cloud adoption, stakeholder expectations extend for far beyond the traditional boundaries of cloud controls. I would like to highlight five critical areas that demand our attention. First, let's talk about cloud strategy. It's crucial to have a clear, rational, and well defined plans for cloud adoption that align seamlessly with your business strategy and objectives. This isn't just about technology, it's about how cloud computing can drive your business forward. Second, we have cloud governance. This involves ensuring effective oversight of cloud usage to deliver business value while staying within your organization's risk appetite. It's about balancing innovation with risk management. Third, let's consider cloud operations and architecture. It's essential that your cloud workloads are designed, deployed, and operated in accordance with best practices. The AWS Well Architected Framework provides an excellent guide for this, helping you build secure, high performing, resilient, and efficient infrastructure. Fourth one is about we need to talk about AWS services. As a customer, you have a responsibility to diligently assess controls and continuously monitor AWS as a third party supplier. This ongoing vigilance is crucial for maintaining security and compliance. Lastly, but certainly not least, is stakeholder management. This involves proactively managing the expectations of critical stakeholders throughout your organization's migration to the cloud. Clear communication and transparency are key here. Remember, in regulated industry, success in the cloud isn't just about technical implementation, it's about creating a comprehensive approach that addresses strategy, governance, operations, service management, and stakeholder expectations. By focusing on these areas, you can ensure that your cloud journey not only meets regulatory requirements, but also drives real business value. Yeah, in the slide, I would like to discuss the crucial concept of shared responsibility model in AWS security and compliance. This model is fundamental to understanding how AWS and its customers work together to ensure a secure cloud environment. AWS takes on the responsibility for security of the cloud. This means they manage and control the infrastructure that forms the foundation of their services. This includes hardware, software, networking components, physical security of data centers. By handling these aspects, AWS significantly reduces the compliance burden on our customers. On the other hand, customers are responsible for security in the cloud. This encompasses managing the guest operating system, applying updates and security patches, maintaining associated application hardware, and configuring AWS provided security group firewalls. This model provides flexibility and control while reducing operational burden. By clearly delineating these responsibilities, AWS and its customers can work together effectively to create a secure and compliant cloud environment. This partnership ensures that while AWS provides a secure foundation, customers have the freedom and responsibility to implement security measures that best suit their specific requirements. AWS does provide comprehensive security, identity, and compliance solutions for cloud environments. Identity and access management, which we also call as an IAM, which enables secure control of AWS resources, while detective controls like guard duty and CloudTrail monitor for potential security issues. Infrastructure protection is ensured through services such as VPC, Shield, and WAF, while data protection is achieved with encryption options on services like KMS and MESI. AWS offers incident response capabilities, included automating triage and access to security experts, and maintains strong privacy and compliance standards, adhering to global regulations and providing transparency through the shared responsibility model. These integrated solutions allow organizations to build secure and compliant cloud environments while focusing on their core business objectives. AWS enables comprehensive continuous monitoring across the entire stack. It does enable customers to monitor and ensure appropriate telemetrics across the entire stack while providing machine learning powered recommendations. When it comes to observability, the CloudWatch service lens ties together CloudWatch metrics and logs as well as traces from AWS X-Ray to give you a complete view of your applications and their dependencies. This enables you to quickly pinpoint performance bottlenecks, isolate root causes of application issues, and determine users impacted. In the anomaly detection, AWS offers CloudWatch anomaly detection, which uses machine learning to analyze metrics and determine normal baselines. In the operational recommendations, we have a service called Amazon DevOps Guru, which automatically ingests operational data and provides a single dashboard for visualizing issues. Coming to application recommendations, Amazon Code Guru Profiler monitors application profiles, providing code level recommendations for efficiency. These tools work together to provide deep health checks and machine learning powered recommendations, enabling proactive management of your AWS environment. In conclusion, maintaining compliance, ensuring security, and implementing continuous monitoring in AWS requires a holistic approach. By understanding your responsibilities, leveraging AWS tools, and following best practices, you can create a robust, secure, and compliant cloud environment. Thank you, guys. Thank you all for your attention. So, any questions? Happy to deep dive. And Finzly can also help you to provide instant payments, connecting it to banks on fintechs. And AWS can support security and compliance to make sure your instant payment journey is smooth. Thank you all.
Thank you.